On a recovery journey with somatic healing and nervous system regulation from chronic pain, anxiety, panic attacks, and stress and trauma, there are really 4 threats that you must immediately address before all of these techniques and resets and hacks can really make a big difference. And I'm going to talk about those threats, and I'm going to give some gentle suggestions. I have a lot of videos, and some of the other videos will give you more in-depth coverage of what to do with those 4 threats. But first, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Healing Wolf. My name is Wolf. My friends and family call me Wolf. It's an old family name dating back to 1290. Sir Marquardt Werner Wolf, who was a knight, a defender of the warrior. His name meant the defender of the warrior in Switzerland. So that's why I use that name. I'm a professional chronic pain, anxiety, panic, trauma recovery coach. And I work one-on-one with clients to accelerate their healing and recovery from nervous system dysregulation. And many of the techniques I use are somatically based. They're intended to communicate directly with unconscious mind. So the 4 threats that I'm going to talk about today, I immediately address with clients, usually in the first session. I work with a technique called rapid resolution therapy, and I'm also certified in clinical hypnosis, and I used a lot of other techniques, primarily pain reprocessing therapy and Vipassana meditation, but there's so many in my toolbox, and when I get to work with a client, we address all of the things I'm going to talk about today. So why do you need to address threats, these 4 threats on your recovery journey? Because if you've had a dysregulated nervous system and you're experiencing chronic pain, anxiety, and panic, or any of these other sensations, gastritis, fibromyalgia, migraines, whatever it is, then you're just experiencing protection sensations from unconscious mind, and these sensations are intended to keep you alive. Unconscious mind often is reading and believes that there are real threats when there are no threats, that you're actually safe, you're actually okay. You look around, there's no tiger, there's no earthquake, there's no war, you're in a relative safety right now. But nervous system and unconscious mind are still trying desperately to protect you, because these 4 threats have been, let's say, embedded in unconscious mind as a reality that's happening now. So most of my work with clients is just making these huge time shifts so that unconscious mind gets it that history is history. The past is over. If you can remember it, it's over. So let's go through these 4 threats you must immediately address on your journey of somatic healing and nervous system regulation. Number 1, childhood adversity. Unconscious mind and your nervous system got wired up in your childhood. And even before birth, they could be wired up. And the reason why we need to address this first is because you're no longer a child. You no longer need to be protected by an unconscious mind that thinks you're still under threat as a child. You're grown up. You have strength. You have resources. You have knowledge. You have wisdom. So we've got to address unconscious mind still thinking that you're a child and playing off of reading childhood adversity as still happening, because it's over. It's done. I mean, my childhood was rough and tumble. I had bullies, I had abuse, I had a bunch of stuff. And my unconscious mind needed to really get it and even express and feel through the lens of that child and know, hey, I'm grown up. And see, fast forward through my life, get to now, get grounded, and know that I'm not a kid anymore. I'm tough, I'm big, I'm strong, I have resources, I have the ability to realistically, any of those predators from my childhood, anyone who abused me back then or threatened me back then, I could take care of them pretty quickly now. And in fact, some of them are dead. So got to get unconscious mind on board knowing that that threat is over, it's done. The next one is trauma. So number 2 is trauma. Trauma can be huge because unconscious mind gets hardwired from one trauma, whether it's an auto accident, whether it's a hostage situation, which some of my clients have been in, whether it's a rape, whether it's a fist fight, whether it's homelessness, whether it's food insecurity. Usually as a child, a lot of the trauma that I address in one-on-one sessions with clients is growing up trauma, right? Sometimes it can be church trauma. Sometimes it can be just a harsh parent, a harsh adult that was not knowing how to be gentle and loving and is still seen as a threat. So you got to address that. Number three threat to address, TT, is worry. Worrying, yes, maybe have been functional for our ancient ancestors, because if they worried about 100 things, maybe they would have an idea, an inspiration to not place the newborn infant near the cave where the bear lives. If they're worrying all day about different animals, then maybe they would come up with some solutions to survive. But worry doesn't really serve us much. It's almost useless. It's worse than useless. Let's put it this way, because it keeps your unconscious mind activated in stress and it keeps your nervous system dysregulated. So number four is one of the biggest ones that I work with clients to eliminate. And that's the fear of the protection sensations themselves. Fear of the chronic pain, fear of the anxiety, fear of the panic, fear of the sensations. So with chronic pain, I was so afraid of my sensations early on that I barely moved. I didn't bend. I didn't sit. I didn't do any kind of anything that would trigger those sensations until I later learned that going through the triggers was the way out. So let's go through all these 4 threats you must immediately address, and I'll give you a quick tip on each one, or maybe a few tips on each one of how to address them. But please, first, if you would subscribe to this channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, ring the bell, and drop a comment about how you would address these threats and how you have addressed them on your recovery journey. So the childhood adversity, the main thing with that is to get unconscious mind. The main way to recover from that threat is to get unconscious mind really understanding that you're an adult, and that's it. And there are a lot of techniques you can use for that. One of the main ones is simply becoming very present and having an attitude of gratitude about the resources that you have in your life right now. Whether it's strong enough muscles to defend yourself from someone who you couldn't as a child, or it's just the fact that you have food on the table, where sometimes in my childhood, I was worried about maybe not having food. And was it rational? Did it make sense? I was poor at one point, and being poor gave me a sense of not having enough food. When I go grocery shopping, I feel a lot of gratitude because I can buy food, and I can also grow food as an adult. There's a lot of things I can do. So number 2 is trauma. We got to clear the trauma. We got to get unconscious mind to know that what happened is over. So one of the best ways to do that is to work with a coach, whether it's me, another one of my rapid resolution therapy practitioner, friends, colleagues, hypnotherapist, whoever you feel comfortable working with. Go back with them to not relive the trauma, but to help your unconscious mind realize that it's over. Number 3, worry. If you catch yourself worrying, get grounded. If you're worrying about something, just say that might never happen. Maybe things will work out for me. Maybe that's going to work out. It'll be fine. And usually it is, right? It's usually when you're worried about something and you get to the actual thing, it's a lot easier than you thought. It's a lot more moment to moment. And the mind has a way of like worrying about a huge chunk of time in the future. Like, oh, I've got to, this thing is going to take me 2 years. Like, imagine you're in graduate school. It's going to take you 3 years and you're worried about the whole thing at once instead of just the 2 lines you're studying right now. 4, the fear of the sensations. The way to address that is simply through indifference. You get indifferent to the sensations. You befriend the sensations. If you want to see how I did it, head to my website, healingwolfcoaching.com, sign up for my newsletter, and when you sign up, we will send you an automated free download of an MP3 of a high quality recording of one of my most powerful somatic meditations. You're going to see and experience in that meditation some of the techniques that I use to recover. And those techniques are all about befriending the sensation, believe it or not, because that's the way out. The way out is to get cool with the sensation and move from indifference, move out of resistance into indifference, later even into gratitude, into allowing and then gratitude. And that's the way out. So again, if you need help, you want to work with me one-on-one or receive a newsletter of encouraging and empowering guidance, then head to my website, healingwolfcoaching.com, sign up for the newsletter. I know you can do this. I know you can recover. Your nervous system is going to get balanced and you're going to feel better and better and better over time. So thanks for watching these videos. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you in the next one. Keep going. Keep going. You are powerful and you're going to make it through this.